Hi folks, so today I thought I would go through some of the components that I use in my touring engine. So I've had a few comments on various videos that I've posted up till now, and one or two people have asked sort of what I've got in my engine and how I set it up. So yeah, I thought I might talk you through the inside of the engine and show you just how that RT195 kit is set up. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so whenever I strip an engine, the first thing I'm doing is replacing the gearbox end plate. So I really like the Cassa end plates. They're reinforced. It's the X159 model. So they're made from stronger high grade steel. The original end plates are cast iron and they are prone to cracking. This high grade steel is CNC'd and they don't crack. Also they're much thicker, so obviously they're stronger. In addition, they have 4 rather than the original 2 6mm threads, and they have 2 stepped locating dowels. So when you combine all of that together, they're a lot easier to install, they're a lot easier to remove, but also because of the stepped dowels, once they're actually in place, there's far less risk of them working themselves loose and coming out inside your engine. So yeah, that's the Cassa end plate. Absolutely love it. I've got it in both my engines and they are spot on. Next up is the drive side oil seal retainer plate, and that is another product from Cassa. If you're interested, it's the Super Seal CNC unit. I think the model code is like X260. So this one comes with a Cassa 433 Viton oil seal, an O-ring, and 4 countersunk Allen bolts. Well, they're screws actually. The internal Viton O-ring sits against the drive side bearing, so there's no need for a flimsy gasket. Okay, moving on, we're now talking about the BGM stator plate. These are my go-to stator plates. They give you a really strong and stable spark, so they are really good for long distance. They have silicon coated cables, so they're reasonably heat resistant, and it does get a little bit warm in there, so that's always a good thing. I remember when I fitted my first one, the first thing I noticed was how much brighter my headlights were. And again, that can't be a bad thing. Another nice little touch is they come with a scaling printed on them. So that's really helpful for when you're setting up your ignition timing. If you can, I'd go for the version 4, I think it is, which has now got an orange pickup, so it's very clear, you can really see it when you place it in the order. I think the orange pickup has been considerably improved from the previous ones, which were a little bit of an Achilles heel for BGM. So it's nice to see that they've listened, taken note and improved that pickup. Now I haven't got this one on both my engines, but if your pennies can squeeze that far, then I would recommend the Cassa cooling kit. It's brilliant. It really is efficient at sucking the air in and keeping it spinning around your engine casing. So it really does aid with cooling. The great thing is it replaces any flange on any Lambretta or any classic Lambretta, and without the need for modification. And another massive plus is, thanks to the bearing lubrication system, it is possible to remove the oil seal on the crank side without ripping the whole engine apart. You can also either use your standard flywheel cover for that original look, or you can go with the sexy Cassa Performance cover that comes as part of the kit. I've gone for the latter because it looks nice. It comes in various colours. I've chosen black for mine, just to keep it a little bit understated. On to the next bit. So my clutch is an AF 46 tooth road clutch. I swear by them. You can get them in a 46 or a 47, so depending on how your bike and your gears and chain are set up, you can pick between the two. And the benefits here are, it is definitely strong enough to cope with an RT195 kit. I'm not sure like whether it would cope with like super powerful kits, 225s and above sort of thing, but it definitely sits on a 195 really nicely. You don't get any clutch slip. The other massive benefit is because it is a cassette clutch, it is delivered to you as a complete unit. And for someone like me, well, that's brilliant, because you can literally just get the old clutch out, drop the new clutch in, job done. Now I've paired mine on one bike with a TV175 gearbox, and on the other bike I've paired it with a Spanish Li150 gearbox, and I have to say that both of them run beautifully. And if you need some sort of recommendation, I took my Spanish Li150 over the Hard Knock Pass a few weeks ago, and I had an AF 46 tooth cassette clutch in there, which was pretty much at the end of its useful life, and it went up and over the hill beautifully, and it didn't miss a beat, it didn't slip. I was hammering it pretty much in first gear up those really steep inclines and literally thrashing the granny out of it, and it didn't give me an ounce of problem. And that's one that's literally done probably 15,000 miles and the teeth are worn and is in desperate need of replacement, really. Now, in all honesty, okay, some of the bits I've spoken about so far are Cassa performance, and they're beautiful. They really kind of draw you in. They're so well made, CNC'd, and you know, they're just stunning pieces of kit. The AF road clutch is a little bit more agricultural in the way it's been put together, but don't let that deter you. It is fit for purpose and very reliable and robust piece of kit, and I would highly recommend it. I've also put a new crank in there. This is a Mech 6110 crank. That, I believe, Mech are the company that replaced Tamini. Tamini made some great cranks at reasonable prices. Again, perfectly strong enough and very true, and they work really well with an RT195 kit. Now obviously you're going to all be shouting at me saying, well, this crank's better or that crank's better, and I'm sure there are better cranks out there, but what I'm talking about is having a reliable scooter but also managing your budget. And the Tamini stroke Mech cranks are reasonably priced for what they are. My bike has been perfectly quick enough, or my bikes have been perfectly quick enough with the Tamini stroke Mech cranks in them. They keep up with everybody else, so I can ride comfortably in a group. I can have a little bit of fun when I'm on my own, and so far, touch wood, they've not let me down. Back on to Cassa performance products. The next thing is the chain tensioner. So this is an OTT chain tensioner. It's the X44 if you wanted to get yourself one. The first bonus of this is that you only need the one piece, so you don't need an upper and a lower chain tensioner. Also, it's made from really high grade steel, and it's self-lubricating. And I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the easiest chain tensioner to adjust out there on the market right now. And to be honest, for 50 quid, the peace of mind that it gives me to know that the chain isn't sort of a little bit loose inside the casings and slapping about and grinding away at the inside of the casings, damaging both the casings and the chain, is kind of worth the money, really. Everything is where it should be. The chain runs true, everything's nice and tight inside, and yeah, it just gives me that ultimate peace of mind when I'm going on a journey. Also worth noting that the Allen bolt fixings are really good. Just a little tiny dab of Loctite when you're putting them in, and they won't go anywhere. They don't run the risk of coming out at all. Now I'm sure plenty of people have done a full review on the RT195 cylinder kit itself. I'm not going to do that because this video is all about what I've put in my bike, not necessarily reviewing each product, but all of it working together in harmony it just ends up being a really decent touring engine. But what I can tell you is that I think Cassa had some sort of involvement in the cylinder head. Maybe they produce it, but it's kind of got a radial finned cylinder head which disperses the air much more efficiently and aids to the cooling, because the cylinder, the piston and the cylinder barrel do get very hot on these. So yeah, anything you can do to help cool it down, couple that perhaps with the Cassa cooling kit that I mentioned earlier. Yeah, it just all aids to keep the engine running cool. So the compression rate of the kit is designed to work effectively with either a 58 or a 60. The port layout is optimised for cruising speed. It has really strong torque, and also there's a little bit of meat on the bones there, so if you do want to sort of fine tune it yourself or get someone to tune it up a little bit more for you, there's enough meat on the bones for you to be able to do that and make it a bit smoother, a bit quicker, yeah, whatever. I mean, it will just bolt on, of course, as well, but yeah, there is scope for a little bit of tuning there. And lastly, so many kits drain your fuel way too quickly to make it almost an inability to tour on them. The RT195 kit doesn't do that. You know, it is a really economical kit considering how much additional power you're putting through the casings. It doesn't sort of drink freely from your fuel tank. Now I've matched mine with a base spacer, and that's just so that I can get the squish exactly to 1.2 millimeters. So that is quite important, and that's what the spec of the kit the manufacturer says that you should be within. I think within a tolerance of 1 and 1.4, but 1.2 seems to be the kind of ideal there. Okay, on to the exhaust. This one is coupled with the BGM Pro version 3. I think I'm very lucky to still have a very lightly used version 3, and it is, you know, a great piece of kit. But when this one eventually gives up the ghost, then I can assure you that I'll be moving to a SIP product which I've got on my Spanish Li. So that would be the SIP Club Sport silent exhaust. I've been really impressed with it. So far I've done about 3,000 miles, which isn't shed loads on it, but it's been a really, really nice exhaust. It's got a great sound to it. It's got really good torque. You can stretch the gears as well, which is nice. Not quite perhaps to the length if you had a full blown expansion chamber pipe on there, but you can definitely stretch the gears really nicely, and it is just great for touring. The exhaust note doesn't like burst your eardrums. It sounds like a Lambretta should sound. I'd say I've been really, really impressed with it. The other thing that for someone like me, it is so well made and so well designed by SIP that it is a piece of piss to fit. I don't know how else to put it, but it is just so easy to fit. Everything like bolts on where it should be. There are so many parts that you have to buy nowadays, aftermarket parts, where you have to fettle this and fettle that to make it fit. I'm sure that doesn't happen with other motorcycle manufacturers with spare parts, but with Lambrettas in particular, we all just have to sit there and accept that, you know, you buy, I don't know, even a horn cast grill, and you have to drill it out because it don't quite fit. You buy a spare wheel holder for the back of your bike, and you can get two of the bolts through the spare wheel, and the other two you have to either bend it around a bit or you know, fettle, put smaller bolts in, whatever. But you know, you have to bugger about with everything. Where this exhaust, when I bought it, it came out of the box. The instructions were really basic and really simple, and it went on so easily. and I was on the road within, I don't know, an hour and a bit sort of thing, and just enjoying the product that I bought. And that is how everything should be in my eyes when you buy it, but unfortunately that's not the reality. But in the case of the SIT Club Sport silent exhaust, I can assure you it is, and it goes on really nicely. Bearings, every time my engine comes apart, for anything significant, the first thing I'll do is go to Broady or someone and get a decent set of bearings, a decent set of Viton seals, and replace them while it's apart. It's kind of pointless thinking, well, not pointless, but while it's apart, you might as well just replace those bits. You know, they're under a lot of pressure, they're under a lot of stress and strain, so why not just spend a few quid and replace them for new? Your engine will appreciate it, and it will definitely carry you longer. I'm also running mine off a 30mm Delorto PHBH carb. I've tried a 26, worked fine, probably didn't give me enough stretch on the gears and quite as much top end. 28, I haven't tried, but a number of my colleagues in the scooter club have and love them. But a 30mm is what I had kicking around. So that's 30mm gone on, I think, both my bikes now. But yeah, it works really, really well. And as I said before, it's quite fuel efficient. What I'm not going to do right now is go into the jetting of the carburetor. That's for another video, for another day. But yeah, just in terms of the setup and how it all goes, that's what I use at 30mm. So I love this setup. It's not the quickest scooter, it's not the slowest, but what it will do is it will keep you running at 60, 65 mile an hour for really long periods of time without any stress. It will get you up to 70, perhaps a little bit more if you want to overtake something, you're on a dual carriageway or a motorway and you want to just go past something that's that annoying sort of pace just in front of you, you're catching them up but slowly, so it will give you that little bit of extra beans to get around that. It will stay with the pack, and it's just a really smooth, easy to ride setup. So I'd highly recommend it. I'd be really interested to know how you've got your bike set up for touring. So mention in the comments below. I'm always interested to see or hear how other people have set their bikes up. And the other thing, again, to pop in the comments below if I've missed anything glaringly obvious here. Something that you think I should have included in the sort of description of the component parts of my engine, then yeah, just mention below. And that just leaves me to say, well, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, and until next time, ride safe.